Hollow Knight just happens to be one of my favorite games of all time, so naturally I've decided to 100% it. Actually, scratch that. I've decided to 112% it because Team Cherry said so. You can blame them for making the title sound like a math error. So what does 112% mean? It means collecting every charm, every boss, every upgrade, and basically checking off every item on this curse list, which I'll probably forget to link down below.
But wait! There's more!
To make this even more painful, I'm doing this all without taking a single hit. No bonks, no boops, no shaw to the face interactions. By the end of this, I'll be the real Hollow Knight. Emotionally hollow, physically cracked, and walking around like the undead from Dark Souls. But hey, if you enjoy watching me suffer through Hollow Nest, drop a comment and tell me what made you laugh, cry, and question your life choices. Hit the like button, sub to the channel, click the bell, all that good shit, and let's dive into this hauntingly hollow world. Quick side note while I'm still pretending to be informative, I'm using a custom skin I made myself. He's adorable, he's cursed, and I love him. But I need to mention that I started by modifying the little Hornet skin by InkScarlets, who's an absolute legend. Links are in the description, so do go check them out, because without their work, my bug boy wouldn't be alive, let alone nearly as cute. Before we dive headfirst into bug violence though, let's take a moment to appreciate the silky smooth voice acting you're hearing.
In wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret.
That's courtesy of the Hollow Nest vocalized mod, which I used throughout this playthrough. If you're watching the partner video where we do a full run of the game, you'll hear it there too. And don't worry, none of these mods affect gameplay, unless you count the quality of life mod, and if you do, well, you can suck. Now, look at my little guy. I mean, come on, look at him. He's adorable, he's deadly, he's got main character energy and sidekick proportions. I'm irrationally proud of him. But let's kick things off with a bit of lore. Who is this tiny little bug gremlin we're playing as? Why are we here? And what eldritch tax bracket did we crawl into? So, for the who we are. What kind of bug even is that thing? So technically, we play as a vessel, but scratch that for a second, we'll get into it later. First, let's rewind the bug clock to the events before the game. Before Hollow Nest was even a thing, the world was ruled by ancient tribes. At the top, there was this big shiny bug called the Radiance. It created the Moth tribe and basically invented bug society, but its followers were basically like real-life insects. Mindless, hive-minded, doing their chores without questioning why they exist. So basically Twitter. The Moths worshipped the Radiance, while the other tribes followed beings like this big swamp noodle, and the spiders, the 8-legged trauma machines. Then came the worm, rolling in like he owned the place. He dies dramatically and then reincarnates as the Pale King, where he would build the kingdom of Hollow Nest, teach bugs how to think, and become their ruler. Basically, bro said, congrats, you now have free thought. Good luck with that. Then the Moth ditched the Radiance to follow him, which made her just a little bit upset about this whole free will thing. She started infecting the bugs through their dreams, because if you can't have followers, make sure you're the only thing they think about when they sleep. We'll talk about the infection a bit more later, but just know it kind of counteracts the Pale King and makes it so bugs act mindless again. To fight back, the Pale King created the Vessels, and I'm not talking just a few. He mass-produced these motherfuckers like void-flavored Funko Pops. You can think of them like soulless, mindless beings immune to the Radiance's influence. He tossed the rejects into the abyss until he found the purest one and named it the Hollow Knight. Hey, that's the game's title. The Hollow Knight's job? Seal the Radiance inside itself and kinda just chill forever inside the Black Egg Temple so she can never escape. To reinforce that seal, 3 powerful bugs, Monomon, Lorien, and Herrah, were all chosen as dreamers. But plot twist, the Hollow Knight wasn't as empty as advertised. Turns out emotional baggage and daddy issues were enough to give the Hollow Knight a bit too much emotion. The seal cracked, the infection leaked, and everything went downhill from there. Enter us, one of the many discarded vessels, not good enough for the main gig, but still kicking. Our goal now is to take out the Dreamers, defeat the Hollow Knight, and become the new seal to hold back the Radiance. Or break the cycle entirely, depending on how deep we want to dive into Hollow Nest's trauma buffet. You got all that? Good, because I'm not repeating it. There's a rewind button for a reason, guys. Use it. I'm not your lore dad. Now, let's get into gameplay and see how long I can go before I get smacked in the face. It's never gonna happen. For those new to Hollow Knight, first off, welcome to Bug Hell. Second, Team Cherry decided that 100% completion wasn't enough. So we're going for 112% because math is fake and suffering is eternal. What do we need for that sweet, sweet 112%? Well, this handy checklist by Nebulatron will guide us through the entire game of madness. Links in the description. Unless I forget, in which case scream at me in the comments, though unlike most YouTubers, I actually write things down, so I usually don't forget. Now, there is also a true 100% route where you collect every single Geo-Rock, shortcut, and sellable item, but with the amount of stress this game already inflicted on me, I'll just stick to the 112%, otherwise I'll end up infected by the Radiance's goo and start whispering in people's dreams. When our little void gremlin drops into Hollow Nest, we're greeted by tutorials. They teach us how to heal, which is adorable but completely useless for the run. The only thing that matters for us here is the first charm, Fury of the Fallen. It boosts damage at low HP, which we'll never have, so yeah, basically useless, but hey, it gives us our first achievement, so we take those. After exiting the tutorial zone, we enter Dirtmouth. This sleepy little town is our hub, our shopping mall, and home to Elderbug, who we love. Elderbug's the real MVP. No notes on him. With nothing else to do, we eat ourselves down the well and begin our descent. First stop being the Black Egg Temple. Yes, we're starting at the end, because Hollow Nest just built different. We meet Quirrell here, one of the best characters in the game, and he wonders if the giant egg can be cracked open and casually roasts our nails, suggesting that we should probably upgrade it ASAP. Fair, our damage output is currently wet noodle mode. Next, we head the opposite direction and meet Cornifer. He's the map guy. You'll find him humming in every area, selling maps that I don't need because I know this game better than my own sleep schedule, but still, we'll need his maps for an achievement later, so we'll pretend to care. But we won't pretend to care about being his friend. We love Cornifer around here. He tells us to visit his wife's shop up in Dirtmouth for mapping supplies, and I respond with, I'm sure he gets it. We'll check the shop later, but for now we need to push forward and find our first collectible grub trapped in a jar. There's 46 of these little guys scattered across Hollow Nest. They give us money, items, emotional support, so we'll be saving them all. Next stop, the first stag station. Here is where we meet the last stag, our fast travel buddy. He mentions that nobody's rung the bells in ages, which tells you just how dead Hollow Nest is. Once upon a time, this place was probably teeming with little bug feet, but now it's just us and the echoes. We save grub number 2 and number 3, then swing by Crystal Peak to meet my favorite bug, Mila.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
If you've seen my Mega Man videos, you know I love cute things, and Mila is peak adorable. Just listen to her sing.
Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight. Bury my father with his eyes shut tight. Bury my sister 2 by 2, and then when you're done, let's bury me too.
I'm sure absolutely nothing bad will happen to her. Everything's fine. Totally fine. After saving grub number 4, we face our first boss, the Gruz Mother. She's probably one of the easiest bosses I've ever fought in video game history, like probably top 5. But now we can wake up Sly, who's been napping in a nearby house. Sly becomes our main shopkeeper in Dirtmouth and has one of the better quest lines in the game. He name drops Oro, which will matter later, and compliments our nail skills, hinting that he may know more about combat than he lets on. Not long after, we meet our second boss, the False Knight. Still easy, but at least he tests our reflexes a bit more than Gruz Mother did. Not today, my good man. Wow, that one was really close. Don't ever do that again. When we beat him, his head pops off. No, not really. This thing just reveals itself to be a maggot in this big old suit of armor. The armor has some juicy lore, but we'll circle back to it later. For now, we snag the falsehood achievement and move on. Next up, at the Ancestral Mound, we meet the Snail Shaman, who immediately offers us dark magic. Seems legit. We accept the Vengeful Spirit spell and promptly pass out. When we wake up, we're locked in a dungeon and told to kill an Elder Balder. Rude, but fine. We grab the Soul Catcher charm, squash the Balder, and piece the hell out with our new spell. Quick pit stop back at Dirtmouth to grab the Mapping Quill, Gathering Swarm, and Compass charms. Gathering Swarm is really clutch for me personally early on because I'm lazy and really don't want to chase Geo like a maniac. But anyways, on to Greenpath. Thanks to our shiny new Vengeful Spirit spell, we can finally blast through this guy and enter Greenpath. Fun fact, there's a speedrun strat that lets you skip the spell entirely and still get in. But I'm not a wizard, just a masochist with a checklist. As we wander through Greenpath, we spot a mysterious figure stalking us from the shadows. She bolts every time we get close, which is a bit suspicious. We save grub number 5 and bump into Cornifer again, who sells us a new map and casually mentions he's seen that same figure darting around like a bug ninja, though she's barely glanced at him, which leads Cornifer here to conclude that she must not love maps as much as we do. Tragic. She'll never know the joy of a well-labeled hallway. Next, we stumble into a cave that looks like a dentist's fever dream. Walls covered in what looks like teeth, and at the center, a big dude roars at us. But our little guy doesn't flinch. Instead of eating us, the big guy hands over the Hunter's Journal, basically a scrapbook for bug murder. kill enough enemies, and you'll fill out all the entries. Most of it'll happen naturally, but there are a few secret entries we'll be hunting down later. For now, we accept the journal and move on like the responsible bug slayers we are. Time to chase down that mysterious figure. We grab grub number 6 and head upward, where we find a dude getting absolutely munched by a giant fly.
I'm dying. Help me.
Fine.
This is Zote. The community loves him, and I do not. Whoa, wait, don't cancel me. It's just an opinion. Here's our first real choice. Leave Zote to die for the neglect achievement, or save him to unlock his quest line and a few other goodies. Since this is 112% run, we are going to be saving him. Cue the boss fight, which is already over. Yup, that was a boss. Zote then scolds us for interfering, claiming his nail nicknamed Life Ender will show us what for if I dare to get in between him and his prey again. I just sit there wondering why his face looks so punchable. But before moving on, we go grab grub number 7 and finally confront our mysterious figure. She points her nail at us and says she knows what we've come to do, and she's not going to let it happen. She doesn't even introduce herself, so I will. This is Hornet, the main character of the hit game Hollow Knight Silksong, or as I like to call her, Big Sis.
Shiny.
We'll get into why later, but for now, she's our first real skill check boss. This is where you either learn to play the game or get folded like an omelet. Your call. After Big Sis Hornet goes down, she eats herself off screen, and we loot the corpse of our fellow vessel, getting ourselves the Mothwing Cloak. Fun fact, it was actually formerly known as the Moth Dust Cloak back during the Kickstarter days. In my opinion, that name change was definitely for the win. This cloak gives us the dash ability, which is arguably the most important tool in the game. Without it, we're just a sad little bug waddling into danger, but with it, we become the ultimate little dash machine. After getting our new gear, we get a surprise visit from the Dreamers. Remember them from the lore dump? They basically tell us to buzz off and let them nap in peace. But we've got a job to do, so sorry, nap time's over, guys. Peace it is. Dirt! Quick pit stop at the lake where we casually murder a bug who was just trying to vibe, then we meet Quirrell again. He's still suggesting we upgrade our nail, which honestly he's not wrong, but we chat, we bond, and then we part ways. Next up, our first parkour section. We're grabbing the Thorns of Agony charm here, which punishes enemies when we take damage. Not super useful for this run, but hey, it's shiny and it counts towards completion. Next up, Fog Canyon, aka Don't Touch the Jellyfish Simulator 2025. These floaty bastards love to go boom, and my face doesn't really vibe with explosions, so we're tiptoeing through here like it's a minefield of anxiety. At the end, we do run into... Wait, Quirrell? Again? How the fuck? Bro, are you teleporting? This man moves like he's got a speedrun timer in the background of his brain. He marvels at the stag station tucked away in the middle of nowhere, saying the bugs of Hallownest must have been pretty impressive to build it. Even in decay, he says we should cherish these sites, and honestly, I don't know what it is, but Quirrell's whole vibe just makes me love him. He's like a chill grandpa who drops wisdom between his naps. Nearby, we meet a very tall bug enjoying a snack. She seems nice enough, but I'm not about to find out if I'm the next thing on the menu. We politely nope the hell out of there and open up the stag station, beginning our descent into the Fungal Wastes. We'll be spending a surprising amount of time here, tons of collectibles, and a lot of connections to other areas. Cornifer's here again, nose scrunched up like he just walked into a public restroom, and he says it stinks. Wonders if I can even smell, and honestly, my guy, I don't even know. I'm just here to suffer. Quick detour, we grab a Hallownest seal, a relic we can sell later on. It's actually the second relic I've gotten, but I kinda ignored the first back in Greenpath. Sorry, not sorry. Not long after, we meet a couple of mushroom dudes who seem like real... fun guys.
You stink!
Yeah, I deserve that. They slam their heads into the ground like they're trying to headbutt the floor into submission, but we take them down and get rewarded with something spicy. A charm notch. Charm notches let us equip more charms, which means more power and more utility. There are 8 to collect beyond our starting set, and while the early ones aren't game changers, once we hit 3 or 4, we can start building a real loadout. For now, we press onward to the City of Tears, one of my favorite areas in the game. On the way, we'll meet Cloth, a big old cicada, and while I hate the real ones buzzing outside my window every summer, Cloth is a certified good bug. She tells us about the Mantis tribe up ahead and says she wants to test herself against it, and I respect it. We grab grub number 8, which I forgot to mark in the video, so now the grub count is officially out of whack and I can't fix it. Go me! We head into the Mantis village and meet the Mantises, or manti? Manti? I don't know, man. Bug grammar hard. The Mantis warriors aren't too tough. One vengeful spirit and a nail smack and they're down, but the real prize here is the Mantis Claw. It gives us wall jumps, because every good Metroidvania protagonist deserves to cling to walls like a caffeine-fueled gecko. With that, we're done in the Fungal Wastes. For now. Time to head to the big city. With our newfound parkour powers, we leap over the acid lake that's been gatekeeping the City of Tears. Using the city crest we got from the False Knight, shout out to the armor-wearing maggot, the gate opens and I'm hyped. New bug friends, new discoveries, new lore, new... Quirrell? Bro, how did you get here? Look, at this point, I'm convinced he's got no clip enabled. Someone check his save file. Anyways, he says he's been feeling drawn to the city, but hesitates to descend further. We chat for a bit, and he mentions wanting to see where all this water comes from. We'll definitely be seeing that later, and he's right. It is gorgeous. Quirrell's got that soft-spoken wanderer energy that makes you just want to be his friend, unlike another adventuring bug that I won't be mentioning. As we explore the city, I grab a few relics, and okay, real talk. Has anyone else noticed how sus these bug shells are? Like, I'm not saying they're NSFW, but I'm also not saying that. Maybe it's just my corrupted gamer brain. Moving on, time we get that nail upgrade. Once we reach the heart of the city, we take a left and boom, we reach the nailsmith's hut. He offers to upgrade our nail for a measly 250 GO, which is an absolute steal. We take that deal, and suddenly our bug murder efficiency jumps from 5 damage to 9. That's a 4-point glow up. Future upgrades will cost more, 800 GO and a pale ore, of which there are only 6 in the entire game. So yeah, time to start hoarding GO like a bug-themed dragon. Now that we're hitting harder, it's time to properly get acquainted with Big Sis Hornet. We reach a massive fountain featuring the Hollow Knight and the 3 Dreamers, and Hornet shows up and admits that she underestimated us.
I'm normally quite perceptive. You I underestimated, though I've since guessed the truth.
She tells us to seek the grave in ash, and the market would grant to one like us. Translation? Go get tatted up with plot juice. Before we chase that objective, however, it's time to become a bug entrepreneur. We've collected a bunch of relics at this point, so let's cash in. We take the elevator up to Relic Seeker Lem's shop, and he'll buy any relics we've found so far, offering different prices and a bit of lore with each. He starts off grumpy, but once we start handing over the shiny things, he warms up. Bug capitalism at its finest. After Lem tells us to get our soggy little butt out of his shop, we begin to climb. We push through hazards galore, struggling to not lose our sanity after the amount of times I went through this entire section just to learn not to get hit, only to still get hit anyway. On our way, we grab grub number 9, and also grab our first egg. These eggs can normally be used to recover our shade, however, because I am playing on Steel Soul mode, we don't have access to the NPC who would normally recover our shade, since on Steel Soul mode, if I do die, well, we get our save deleted, so there is no shade for us to recover. On Steel Soul, we actually can sell these eggs to an NPC named Jin, who's at the location instead, and he'll give us somewhere between 3 and 500 GO or something like that. So another nice way to earn GO is always good. Finally, we reach the tippy top where we spot our boy Cornifer. Seeing him after all that chaos is pure serotonin. He mentions picking up a trinket or two for his wife, which is adorable. She actually talks about missing him earlier, so it's nice to see they care about each other. Bug love is real. After that wholesome moment, we bump into Zod again. He yells at us, and honestly, this is probably the most normal interaction we'll have with him. On our way out, we grab the simple key, which is very important. There's only a few in the game, so definitely don't miss it. And with that, we're officially done with the City of Tears. But don't worry, we'll come back plenty in the future. We stop by the next Stag station, and if memory serves, we should be unlocking the Connections achievement for opening half of them. I think. Maybe? Look, it's been a while, don't at me. Our Stag buddy thanks us, saying that each station we open helps restore his memories, so not only are we fast traveling like pros, we're also helping a giant bug rediscover his past. Wholesome and efficient. We take those. Quick pit stop at Dirtmouth, we chat with Elderbug, who's surprised we even reopened the Stag station. He didn't think it would ever happen, but here we are, defying expectations. We do some shopping, snag a mass shard from Sly, and also an egg. That's our second one. We buy the rest of the mapping tools from Zelda, Cornifer's wife, and then head back towards the well where we meet Tiso. Tiso is a lot. He's got that I'm the main character energy and hints at the Colosseum of Fools. He says he wants to challenge us there, but buddy, one look at my hunter's journal and you'd already be quaking in your little shell. We jump back down the well and use our dash powers to grab grub number 10. Apparently during editing I realized I missed one earlier, so the counter's correct now. Don't blame me, blame past me. Dumbass. Next up, a boss I used to struggle with, but now I treat him like cardio. The Brooding Mawlek. Back in the day, I had no idea how to dodge the goo it spat all over my innocent face. Turns out, you can just dash over the boss. Look at that. Growth. We get Mass Shard number 2 for our trouble, and shortly after, Snag Shard number 3. Then we'll bump into Tiso again at the Forgotten Crossroads Stag Station. He calls us pathetic and says that a real warrior should walk into battle, then immediately complains about wasting time on the road. Bro, just take the stag. It's right there. We meet Mila again, who's blessing our ears with her adorable singing. We need to protect her at all costs. And with that, we're done here. Time to head back to the City of Tears and take on my least favorite area in the game, the Soul Sanctum. We reach the Soul Sanctum and immediately crack open a wall for a shortcut back to the bench, because if I get smacked in the face mid-run, I'm not doing that walk of shame again. This place isn't too bad design-wise, it's just a pain in the ass. Let's talk enemies. First, the Soul Twisters. These guys hover just outside your range and spam magic projectiles like they're casual scrubs trying to win a PvP match in Elden Ring. If you're not constantly dodging, then you're getting booped into next week. Then there's the Mistakes. Yeah, that's their actual name. They pop out of the floor and surprise you like Starbucks employees asking for tips, and if you're standing there when they do, bam, toes tickled, run ruined, bench, reset. Thanks, Team Cherry. Aside from that, the area's fine. We face off against the Soul Warrior boss, who's basically a warm-up act. We open up a few shortcuts and grab one of my favorite charms, Spell Twister. It reduces spell cost by 27%, dropping it from 33 to 24. That means we go from casting 3 spells per soul bar to 4. Huge. It's like almost upgrading from a squirt gun to a soul-powered bazooka. Now for the main event, the Soul Master. This guy trips up a lot of new players, but once you've learned his nonsense, he's pretty manageable. Just wait till he gets his upgrade later. Also, he's the first boss with multiple phases. He kind of fakes you out. You beat him, go collect your prize, and oh shit! NANI? Classic Hollow Knight jump scare. After dealing with his shenanigans, we get Desolate Dive, our second spell, and the Illuminated achievement. Desolate Dive is probably the most useful spell in the entire game. Not only does it deal solid damage, but it gives us 24 frames of invincibility. Now that may not sound like much, but when later boss fights turn into a Toho bullet hell, you'll be diving like your life depends on it, because it does. We exit the Sanctum, get a quick tutorial on our new dive mechanic, rescue another grub buddy, and finally escape that cursed place. Let's take a quick breather and visit all the grubs we've rescued so far. We meet their, leader? Dad? Grub Daddy Supreme. Whatever he is, he's thrilled to see his kids again and hands us a fat stack of Geo, our 4th Mass Shard, Hello Protector achievement, and the Grub Song Charm, which if you're into taking damage unlike me, is an awesome charm, as it gives you soul when you get hit. Thanks to our dash and wall jump, we can now swing by Salubra's hut, and she sells what I consider probably the second best charm in the entire game, the Shaman Stone. And she sells it for so cheap, I feel like I'm committing daylight robbery. Once it's equipped, which we'll be doing for 99% of the run, Shaman Stone boosts Vengeful Spirit damage by 33%, Desolate Dive by 51%, and Howling Race, which we'll get later, by 50%.
Now that's a lot of damage!
It also makes your Vengeful Spirit chunkier, so it hits twice way more often. It costs a whopping 3 notches, but it's worth every single one. Salubra also sells Steady Body for just 120 Geo. Not super useful right now, but trust me, it'll be a staple later when we get another crazy charm fairly soon. For now, we pick up our next charm notch, Shaman Stone, and the Long Nail, then we slap on Spell Twister and Shaman Stone and become a full-blown spell god. With Bug Wizard status unlocked, we head back through the crossroads to check on Mila again, and she's, not doing so hot.
Bury my body. Cover my shell.
She's tired, forgetting her lyrics, and it's honestly kind of heartbreaking. I really wish we could protect Mila forever. And with that emotional gut punch, it's finally time to ascend the Crystal Peaks. We flex our new abilities to breeze through a quick challenge to rescue another grub buddy, then it's off to meet our Cartographer King Cornifer for yet another map. You think anyone else buys these things? Maybe he's got a side hustle selling these to bosses I kill, or at least quarrel. Next up, the Crystal Guardian, an easy as hell boss, but I'm gonna share the secret to beating him damageless regardless. Are you ready? Come close. Closer. Just a little bit closer. Okay, back up a minute. You're too close. Now listen very carefully. If you see a laser, you move out of the way. Am I genius, right? Sometimes my brilliance scares even me. We do tour into a random alcove to grab the shopkeeper's key for Sly, then we jump to the top of Crystal Peak and, Quirrell! Okay, sure, he's had time to get here before us this time, but I'm still suspicious. I'm adding Crystal Peak teleportation to the conspiracy board. Quirrell muses about the crystals here having soul-like properties, just weaker. He kinda hints that we're about to get a nice spicy upgrade, but also questions how he even knows this stuff. Bro, you're either a scholar or a sleeper agent, but either way, I'm watching you. Now, technically, we should continue through the rest of Crystal Peak, but when I want something, I get it. So we're doing a skip. We poke off this crystal that isn't normally pogoable. Yeah, whatever. But thanks to the quality of life mod, it is. But don't worry, this is doable in the base game too. Take it away, past me. What you're gonna wanna do is get to the same area where I was, and then jump above the bug with the pickaxe. And when she throws the pickaxe straight up, you can actually pogo off of it and still get onto the wall and into the area. So completely possible. The quality of life mod just made this a little bit easier by giving me the crystal to jump off of. So hopefully that's okay, because I'm not replaying the entire game just because of this. I'm sorry. We enter a zone that's supposed to require double jump, but we're rebels, so we lure a crystal fly, bonk it with a pogo, and bounce off its stupid little head to reach the next area. After some tight platforming, we arrive at the crown of Hallownest and snag our first piece of pale ore. That's one step closer to nail upgrade number 2. So worth it. We grab another grub, return to the main route, and pick up an egg. Then it's time for the laser section. Now some folks say it's a pain, but personally, skill issue. At the end, we claim the Crystal Heart, aka Super Dash, which means this bug friend, and this one, and this charm, and this final grub are all ours. Except this one. This one's evil. Back to Dirtmouth for what feels like the 300th time, we hand Sly his key and open up more of his shop. We immediately blow all of our Geo on another key, then we take it to the edge of town to meet Jin. He's the guy who buys our eggs for Geo. So technically, we got Sly the key for free. Bug capitalism strikes again. Back into Crystal Peak, we explore the right side and rescue 2 more grubs. Then we grab the upgrade to Desolate Dive, now rebranded as Descending Dark. It's got a sleek void makeover and it hits harder than my emotional breakdown did after the Radiance. Next up, we dive into this suspiciously large hole and land in the resting grounds. An area that's small, but we'll be spending a surprising amount of time here. We walk into the next screen and, oh look, it's the Dreamers again. They pop out like ghostly Karens telling us to stop, but this time they're done playing nice. They knock us flat and seal us in the Dream Realm. No escape, no options, we die, the end. Wait, hold up, that's not the end. Don't trick the viewers like that, that's rude. I just argued with myself. I might have schizophrenia, you know. Or maybe I'm just really committed to the bit. Anyways, a moth friend swoops in to rescue us, and she leads us through this dreamy void and offers us a way out. The Dream Nail. We take it, obviously. Free weapon? Yes, please. When we wake up, we meet our savior, the Moss here. She tells us to go collect essence to fully awaken the Dream Nail. Soul juice, but sparkly. You've probably noticed those weird roots scattered through Hallownest that we've passed a few times. Well now, we can smack them with the Dream Nail and start collecting essence. Though, let's be real, this method's about as reliable as Zote's ego. The real essence farming starts when we begin seeing ghost bugs, dream spirits of fallen warriors that we can take on in battle and afterwards get a big essence boost. And that's when things kinda get philosophical. There are some spirits that aren't bosses and are totally peaceful. I used to think that absorbing the spirits with the Dream Nail was the humane thing to do. You know, set them free, all noble and stuff. But now I'm not so sure. Later on, we'll meet an NPC spirit that just kinda disappears on their own. No nail, no drama, just poof, gone. That's when I kinda realized that they can move on when they're ready, so now I just kinda leave them be. There's plenty of essence to go around, and I'm not trying to be the bug version of Ghostbusters. After that little existential detour, we pick up the Dream Shield charm, great for passive defense, and even better for pretending you're doing something strategic. Then it's back to the City of Tears for our next nail upgrade, because nothing says spiritual awakening like hitting things just a bit harder. We use the simple key we picked up earlier to unlock the Royal Waterways, aka sewer level, but make it bug themed. Normally, we'd meet Tuck here, the rancid egg dealer, but because we're in Steel Soul mode, the devs decided infinite egg trading was a bit too broken. So instead of tweaking Tuck's shop, they just killed her. RIP Tuck. Never even knew ya. Gone before I could even buy your stinky collectibles. Now, let's talk about the yellowish goo all over Tuck's corpse. We've seen this stuff before, like when the Mawlek projectile vomits at our face. This is the infection I mentioned at the start of the video. The Radiance's way of turning bugs into aggressive glowing minions. To make this easier on myself, I'm just going to quote the Hollow Knight wiki directly. The infection initially manifests itself through dreams, using desires and planting false hopes in the minds of bugs. Eventually, the infection grows dominant in their minds, which are broken, and their wills enslaved. This allows the Radiance to exert control over the bugs overtaken by the infection and make them become part of her union. As a result, they return to primal instincts and are driven mad, becoming more courageous and aggressive. At advanced stages, they may even lose their sense of self-preservation. So yeah, infection equals bad. We should probably do something about that. As we slash our way through the sewers, we run into the loudest bugs in the game. Don't try and pretend you're dead when you're not, stupid. Shut up. These guys are just screaming. No context, no warning, just raw vocal energy. We meet Cornifer again, probably the 8th or 9th time at this point. I've kind of lost track, but I still love him and his maps. He's the real MVP of Hallownest cartography. We break left to open a shortcut to the Fungal Wastes. Told you this place connects to everything. And we pick up the Dash Master, aka the charm that makes you dash like you've got somewhere to be and no time to explain. Then we do a little bit of a parkour puzzle to rescue Bretta, a cute bug who's very thankful. So thankful in fact that she starts writing fanfiction about us later. Which is adorable, but also mildly concerning, depending on your stance on fanfiction. With Bretta saved, we grab a grub buddy and a mask shard, then head into the Dung Defender's boss room. That was... we were playing tag, I don't know what that was. And we're gonna grab this little guy. Thanks to Descending Dark, this fight is basically a formality. We dive, we win, we move on. Extra damage is of course always welcome. Dung defended. Or was he defending it from me? Regardless, after the fight we hit a switch to open the path to our real goal down here. Then we Descending Dark underneath the switch to reveal a secret. The Dung Defender's home. Time for a bit of lore. Check out these statues here. From left to right we have Zamer, Drya, Isma, Hegmol, and Ogrim, aka the Dung Defender himself. Hopefully I said all those right. If not, I apologize. The one I want to focus on right now though is Hegmol. Remember the False Knight we fought earlier? That armor actually belonged to him. He's the only one of the Great Knights who's kinda just unaccounted for. Throughout the story we'll actually meet all the others, or at least their corpses. Pretty cool, huh? Speaking of the Great Knights though, we crystal dash deeper into the sewers and tackle a small challenge room, but thanks to our level 3 nail, it's no problem. This leads us to Isma's tier. It just makes us a little bit stinkier and that stinkiness repels acid. Okay, not really, it's magic or something, but I like to think we're just radiating bug funk. Isma was also one of the 5 Great Knights I mentioned earlier, and I'm pretty sure this is her corpse. You can dream nail it and hear her say Ogrim, which is the Dung Defender. Pretty neat. When we crawl out of the sewers, we're back in the City of Tears, this time in Emilcia's house. Hi. She tells us that her old colleagues are mindless husks, but she's still alive and finds that really funny.
Oh, I'm just so happy. Fate can be a wonderful thing.
Alright, psycho bug lady. Anyways, we make a quick detour to a secret room and absolutely obliterate a golden pug who drops 420 geo. Nice. After some grub wrangling and Stag Station unlocking, we snag the Whispering Root in the city storerooms, and then it's off to Queen Station to grab ourselves a mask shard. With Isma's tier in hand, we go full scavenger mode now. We grab the Spore Shroom Charm, rescue a grub, dive deeper into Deepnest for another grub, and collect the Whispering Root above the Mantis Village. Then it's time for one of my favorite boss fights, the Mantis Lords. These guys will absolutely test your coordination, but later they evolve into the Sisters of Battle, who is probably my top 3 bosses. Beating them nets us a safe passage through the village, non-aggression pact with the Mantis tribe, and the Mark of Pride charm, which turns our nail into a very long pointy stabber of doom. We bump into Cornifer and Deepnest, who's here mapping out the bug equivalent of a horror movie while shaking in his boots. I respect the hustle. Then we meet, me. Damn, what a handsome fella. Wait, no, it's just a murder creature wearing my skin. We kick its ass, grab our next pale ore, and move on to rescue Zote from spiders. Again, he yells at us, "You're welcome." We scoop up another grub and find Cloth near the abandoned tram station. She's having a fully blown Nope moment. Wants to hide forever, avoid all the creepy crawlies, pretty much me all the time. We grab the tram pass and head back through Deepnest where we meet Quirrell. Bro's just built different, zero fear. He invites us to join him for a bath, and I'm chill like that, so we vibe. Then we pick up the next vessel fragment, collect 3 of these bad boys, and we get a bonus soul nugget that refills whenever our main soul bar runs dry. We hop on the newly unlocked tram system, fight our way through some Mawleks, and rescue another grub, and then snag our 3rd pale ore. You know what that means. Nail upgrade time, baby. After clearing the area, we find Cloth again. She admits she's not the brave warrior she pretends to be, but she decides to follow our example and fight back. I'm proud of you, Cloth. You're doing amazing, sweetie. With all that wrapped up, we descend into the ancient basin. I drop 3,000 Geo for another soul vessel, RIP my wallet, buy a map from Cornifer, get another key, beat up my half-dead brother, unlock the double jump, and use the dream nail to enter his infected dreams. Wow, that was a mouthful. Now all we have to do is free him from bug purgatory. Doing this fight early is brutal, but we get 400 essence for it, which is a massive boost to help us upgrade faster. Now with double jump unlocked, we save this little friend and get the fuck out of here by opening the next stag station hidden behind a wall. Freedom never felt so good. We make a couple of pit stops back up in Dirtmouth, mostly to vibe, but also to loot.
Do as you will, little wanderer.
First stop, Bretta's house. We grab another mask shard and skim through her fanfiction. Spoiler, it's about us. Second stop, Sly, for mask shard number 8 and vessel fragment number 3. That's a health upgrade and more spell juice. I also buy literally everything from his Zelda shop, not because I need it, but because someone's gotta fund her grocery runs while Cornifer's out there mapping everything. Then we step back into the Forgotten Crossroads and uh-oh, stinky. Someone spilled the infection everywhere. The bugs are angrier, twitchier, and some routes are blocked off. It's kinda giving that endgame energy now. We swing by Salubra's and buy all her charms and notches except one, so that means we can finally start building our little guy into a full-blown murder machine. The current loadout I choose to go with is Mark of Pride, Shaman Stone, and Gathering Swarm. Nail go long, spell go boom, geo go zoom. I can't believe I just said that. Next, we detour into the Fungal Wastes and slap on the Defender's crest to become smelly. This excites a certain bug merchant enough to give us a discount. Apparently, stink is currency now. He sells some of the best charms in the game, the Fragile Greed, Fragile Heart, and Fragile Strength charms. Fragile Strength is straight up a 50% damage boost to your nail. Now that's not a buff, that's a war crime. Downside is if you die, it breaks. The upside is if we die, the save file goes poof, so yeah, I'll be equipping that for the rest of the run, with no regrets. We grab another Whispering Root and then meet our first ghost fight, Master Who. Fighting him this early is a questionable life choice, but I do it anyway. You're probably supposed to wait until you have Shade Cloak, but I like pain, so we beat him. He has an existential crisis and is like, oh damn, I'm dead as hell, and passes on into our dream nail. Not as much essence as our fellow vessel gave us, but still a nice boost. Then it's a full sprint back through the City of Tears for our next nail upgrade. After that, we swing by the Soul Sanctum, not to go in, just to open a door. Behind it, a Snail Shaman who upgrades our Vengeful Spirit into Shade Soul. Another Void-themed spell upgrade for our arsenal. We're basically a walking Void Cannon now. With all that wrapped, we head back to the Ancient Basin to conclude the first leg of Hollow Knight. We hop on the tram, head right, and enter Kingdom's Edge. We only do a few things down here in Kingdom's Edge, like grabbing 2 more grubs and chatting with Cornifer, who's still out here mapping like he doesn't have a big sexy bug wife to head home to. Then we meet Nail Master Oro. Remember way back when Sly mentioned his name?
Oro, you wield your nail like a club.
Yeah, it turns out these warrior brothers and Sly have some history. Oro teaches us our first nail art, the dash slash. It's cool in theory, but unless you're rocking the Nail Master's Glory Charm or doing niche tech, it's just not worth the long charge time it takes. Anyways, after rescuing another grub homie, we pick up the best charm in the game, Quick Slash. This bad boy reduces nail cooldown by a whopping 39%. That's not just good, it's illegal. It catapults your DPS into triple S tier territory. Can you believe this thing used to cost only 2 notches? Team Cherry was out here handing out nuclear bombs for $2.99. One last grub in the area before we meet up with Big Sis Hornet, who proceeds to bully me.
So you'd pursue the deeper truth. It isn't one the weak could bear.
Don't bully me! She says she needs to test us again because what comes next isn't for the weak, so we throw hands. Of course I win, because I'm awesome, and Hornet pieces out. We move forward and find the Pale King's corpse. Well, technically his original corpse from when he was a worm. Inside, we claim the King's brand, which means we're officially in the endgame now. We could go grab King's soul and wrap the whole thing up, but I still have a horde of ghosts to traumatize. As we try to leave the area, it begins to crumble, and we get smooshed to death. Oh wait, is that... Continuing through Kingdom's Edge, I tickle some booty and meet a handsome fellow who kinda liked it. Normally I'd be weirded out, but he's adorable, so I let it slide. We grab one last Whispering Root to hit 600 Essence and unlock an achievement. Then it's off to the Colosseum of Fools, the one Tiso wouldn't shut up about. Here, we'll find Zout in a cage where he belongs. Then we absolutely obliterate the Pale Lurker for a key, which kinda made me feel bad. But just left of the Colosseum is a sneaky little path back to the City of Tears where we snag another Soul Vessel Fragment. Then it's off to the Resting Grounds to talk to the Seer, who showers us with rewards for all the essence we've collected. We get the Dream Wielder Charm and another Pale Ore. She also opens a previously locked door that leads to the Kickstarter area. As far as I know, the ghosts here were all designed by backers who donated a certain amount to the Hollow Knight Kickstarter. It's like a Haunted Bug fan club. I don't kill them on this save file because I'm not a monster, but I will show off exactly how you could kill them all damageless and then even revac if you're so inclined. You monster. We start by diving into a literal casket to grab the Soul Eater charm and rescue a grub. Then it's time for the real spice. We fight Xero, the ghost with commitment issues and floating swords. Then after we send him to the Shadow Realm, we return to the Seer, who rewards us with yet another vessel fragment. Just one more and we get another soul upgrade, and guess what? We're getting that immediately. We swing by Sly, buy all his mass fragments, snag the final vessel fragment, and boom, another soul nugget unlocked. We also buy his charms, but they're not as important right now. Next, we head back to where it all began, and by using the path left to spawn, we reach the Howling Glyphs. We meet the best ghost boy, Gorb. He's adorable, floaty, and shouts his own name like a Pokemon. Easy fight, but 10 out of 10 vibes. Then we meet Nailmaster number 2 for the Cyclone Slash, and honestly, it's probably the worst nail art. Sure, it generates a decent amount of soul, but in a damageless run, getting locked into Spin Cycle is just asking for pain. We link up with Cornifer as always, grab Joni's Blessing, collect the Whispering Root Essence, then dip out of the cliffs to grab the Baldur's Shell Charm. Should I have activated the Grimm Troupe DLC while I was there? Yeah, but I forgore. This leads to a shortcut back to Greenpath, where we could grab the Neglect achievement if we had let Zout die, but of course we saved the little bastard. Do I regret it? Maybe a little. Then it's a hop, skip, and a jump back to the Whispering Root and the Forgotten Crossroads that was previously locked off to us. Then after that, it's back to the Ancient Basin and down to the depths of the void. We're not grabbing anything here just yet. We only came to equip Joni's Blessing, Fragile Heart, and the other Lifeblood Charm to hit 15 Lifeblood masks. Why? To open this Lifeblood door, obviously. Inside, we snag an Arcane Egg and the final Lifeblood Charm after some parkour that's 90% precision and 10% panic. From here, we bounce back to Greenpath again to meet a Snail Shaman in the Overgrown Mound and grab the Howling Race spell. The last one we need. Should I have done this before the Lifeblood door? Probably, but doing it this way means I have my proper build for the Void Gauntlet, so I'm calling it a tactical delay. We don't even get the chance to cast our new spell before I'm already back in the Abyss, using it immediately to upgrade into Abyss Shriek. Probably my favorite of the 3 spells, even if the other 2 are technically more useful. This one just feels like power. Then we meet our siblings, turn on the lighthouse to cross the evil void Goo Lake, and then pick up the most busted ability in the game, the Shade Cloak. Now we can dash through enemies like a ghost with a grudge. It also unlocks access to areas we couldn't reach before, but most importantly, the 3 Dreamers. We crawl out of the corpses of our void siblings, real family reunion vibes, and Hornet's waiting for us. Then it's back to the Seer, who blesses us with the Dream Gate ability, and this thing is cracked. You can drop a portal anywhere and warp back to it whenever you want. Stick one in a stag station and boom, instant fast travel. We'll be abusing this heavily during the Grimm Troupe DLC. Next stop, Salubra. We grabbed the last purchasable charm notch, and the rest will have to come from the Colosseum and the aforementioned DLC. I make a bunch of pit stops on the way to the Hive, but nothing major except this grub friend. He's important. Now let's talk about the Hive, my least favorite area in the entire game. Not because it's hard, it is, or enemies are annoying, they are, but because I have a massive bug phobia. Ironic considering I'm playing a game about bugs, but the sound of a fly or bee buzzing near your ear, instant skin crawl. I'm talking full body shivers, so yeah, this place is my personal little slice of buggy hell. Despite my trauma, we grab a whispering root, mask shard, and another grub. Then it's time to fight what I consider probably the most annoying boss in the game, the Hive Knight. Now I can take on Pure Vessel or the Sisters of Battle no problem, but Hive Knight? He's my personal kryptonite. Not even sure why, he's not that tough. Maybe I just suck, but we beat him damageless anyway because we're just cool like that. Victory nets us the Hive Blood Charm, which slowly regenerates health after taking damage, so not useful for this run, but hey, it's shiny. And more importantly, it means we can finally leave this buzzing nightmare behind. Freedom ain't never sounded so sweet. Nothing major really happens next, except I realize I forgot to activate the Grimm Troupe DLC. So I go fix that mistake, and boom, big old tent pops up in the middle of Dirtmouth like the circus rolled into town. So let's introduce the Hallownest Circus of Horrors. First we have Brum, certified good boy and bug with a conscience, and then we have Grimm, evil as hell but somehow incredibly charismatic. I love Grimm. And then we have Divine, who growls in your ears if you're using Hallownest vocalized, and listen, that growl, it kinda gave me goosebumps, I ain't gonna lie. 15 out of 10 voice. Suddenly I understand why there's so much R34 of Hornet. Anyways, moving on before I sound weird as hell. Divine offers to take our fragile charms and make them unbreakable, for a price. I, being the galaxy brain genius that I am, hand over my fragile strength charm, and immediately regret it when I realize that it costs 15,000 Geo to get it back. So I continue on my merry little way without enough Geo to get it back and feeling slightly betrayed. Then we take Grimm's advice and start upgrading our new bug child into a full-fledged sidekick of destruction by gathering Grimm Troupe flames. It's totally fine. Definitely not gonna doom Hallownest or summon any eldritch bug gods. Nope, definitely fine. It gives us a cool boss fight, and since when can cool boss fights be bad for you? So I realize again that I forgot something. Turns out, I never met the final nail master in Greenpath. So we go and fix that, grab the Great Slash and claim the best nail art in the game. While we're here, we also meet Un, one of the ancient bugs who was worshipped a long time ago, and honestly, I get it. She's chill. She even gives us a charm for just showing up. Remember that spot where we met Quirrell earlier in Greenpath? He said it felt like a place of worship, and he wasn't wrong. Turns out Un was right below it the whole time. Bug lore. Now that we've met all three Nail Masters, we can finally finish Sly's quest chain. So we head back to Dirtmouth where I sit on a bench with Preda, who is adorable as always, and then head into Sly's basement. Don't worry, it's not creepy. Turns out Sly's the Nail Sage, the one who trained the three brothers in the first place. He gives us the Nail Master's glory charm and declares us the final Nail Master, the last one there will ever be. Thanks, Sly. I will absolutely not use this power responsibly, but I will use it later to kick your ass. Next, we unlock the Pleasure House and meet Marissa, a good bug and a great singer. Then we swing by the False Knight's arena to take on his ghost form, the failed champion. This fight is a bit tricky until you realize the secret strat. Just dash under him when he jumps. That's literally it. You cannot lose. Looking back, out of all the Damageless games I've done, this one actually wasn't that bad. Sure, it was tougher than I remembered, but the only thing that really gave me trouble was Absolute Radiance. Not yet, go away. Quick stop for the glowing womb charm and then back to the Ancestral Mound for another essence tree. Why is this even here? We grab it anyways, and then we meet Milliabelle and hand over 4,500 Geo to her bank vault. I'm sure she won't run away with it. Definitely not foreshadowing. We grab a map from Cornifer, second to last one, and snag a free charm notch just chilling in a jellyfish-infested hole. Then it's time to take out our first dreamer. Of course, we gotta save this grub friend first, but look, it's Quirrell. It's actually the end of his quest line. He says he felt like he needed to come here, but doesn't know why. Bug instincts, I guess. Regardless of the why, we head inside like the bug duo of the century, and after dodging jellyfish like our lives depend on it, we come face to tentacle with Uumuu. We can't actually damage him at first, so it's just Dodge City for a while. Then out comes our savior Quirrell. He breaks the boss's shield, and we slap it into oblivion. Teamwork at its finest. Afterwards, we find our first dreamer, Monomon the teacher. With no way to enter her dreams, we're stuck, until Coral pops up behind us. I knew he could teleport, I'm not crazy. He explains Monomon's history and his role in protecting her. Then he lifts his hat to reveal it's actually Monomon's mask. He undoes her protection and we enter her mind, claim our first dreamer, and take one big step closer to the Black Egg Temple. We enter the last major non-DLC area, the Queen's Gardens, and Cloth is here, and she's fired up, ready to beat some Mantis ass. I don't think that's a great idea, but hey, you do you, my big strong bug friend. While Cloth scopes out our next prey, we meet Cornifer for the final time, grabbing our last map and unlocking the Cartographer achievement. Woohoo! Map complete. Bug GPS fully installed. In the interest of this video not being 69/420 hours long, we clean up the Queen's Gardens fast, so pay attention. Grab the love key from this spot right here, and that's it. Moving on. We head through some spike-covered parkour and enter the lair of the Traitor Lord. We fight off some Mantis traders when Claw shows up and obliterates one of them. As a little guy myself, ma'am, I'm usually solo, so having a partner is kinda fun. If you get that reference, you may claim one cookie from the cookie stash. Now this fight is actually technically impossible to do Damageless without the Shade Cloak, since the Traitor Lord has an attack you must dash through. I mean, not like you could even get here without the Shade Cloak, but still, important info. Me and Cloth kick its ass with absolutely no complication. Cloth, no! Oh god, my friend is dead. She was too pure for this world. We drag our now friendless bug butt over to the White Lady, but before going inside, we spot a corpse. Now I could be wrong, poo-poo brain striking again, but I'm pretty sure this is Drya, one of the 5 Great Knights. She was tasked with protecting the White Lady forever, but got wrecked by the Mantis traders and left here. Bug history is pretty tragic. Inside, we meet the White Lady herself. She gives us a pep talk and gifts us with the White Fragment. She also mentions that we fought the gendered child and should make friends with her. Don't worry, Big Sis Hornet loves me. We're basically bug siblings with matching trauma. On the way out, we find Claw's ghost, who expresses 0 regrets. She was happy to fight alongside us and even happier to die a glorious death in battle. She's off to be with her bugaboo Nola now. I salute you, Cloth, one of my best bug friends. We keep our little head held high and press onward, grabbing grubs 36 and 37. Behind where we were at to see the White Lady. Then meeting up with ghostly little Marmu. She's adorable, but her boss fight is not. She turns into a bouncy ball like the Dung Defender, but with homing capabilities. So we play bug badminton until she's tuckered out and decides our dream nail would make a cozy bed. Then it's time to return to the bank and get our Geo back. Hello? Anybody there? That bitch! She stole all of our Geo. But not to worry. I have a particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for bugs like her. I will find her, and I will beat her into submission. What, too far? Anyways, we dive back into Deepnest to grab yet another grubby goo and face off against our next ghost, Galien. He gives me a bit of trouble, but nothing someone of my caliber couldn't handle. I mean, come on. I've dodged Master Who without the Shade Cloak, Galien's floaty spinny stick, and got nothing on me. Then my dumbass gets to grab the Weaver Song Charm, gets another Whispering Root, and continues onward to the abandoned village. Oh, but before I forget, we also meet the midwife who tries to eat us. I give her a firm slap in the face and she scuttles off like a rejected horror movie extra. But anyways, it's village time. Seems peaceful. Definitely normal. Just ignore the cocoon-wrapped bug corpses hanging around like decorations. It's fine, everything's fine. We speak to our stag friend who tells us that now that we've unlocked every stag station, he remembers where his home is. Let's go! He offers to take us there, but hold that thought, buddy. I gotta go meet some friends who definitely won't harvest my organs. Probably. Maybe. We sit down with our new pals and they promptly remove all of my organs and toss me into a spider web. Oh no. We're so fucked. Help me. Oh god. Oh my. Ow. That was my kidney. Well, it was like a 50-50 chance they weren't evil. Joke's on you. I like being tied up. We collect one of the last grub friends for the area, and then definitely with no issues whatsoever, claim our second dreamer. We wake up with Big Sis Hornet watching over us, and she finally gives us a bit of her backstory. So let's break it down. Hornet is old. Like pre-dreamer old. The dreamer we just collected, Herrah, is Hornet's mother. Her father, the Pale King himself. Hornet was born as part of a bargain. Herrah agreed to become a dreamer, and in return, she got a child. But that meant Hornet never really got to know her mother. Hornet's job is to make sure the Hollow Knight seal doesn't break and that nobody gets the King's brand, but at this point, she's noticed we're kinda strong and probably trustworthy. She mourns her mother's loss and I give her a big hug using the power of headcanon, bug siblings forever. From there, we head to the next Stag station where we grab yet another soul vessel fragment and a bit more lore. There's actually a cracked egg here which hints that the last Stag might not be the last of his kind after all. It's heartwarming, and we like those. We kick off this next section by fighting a boss we probably should have taken out ages ago. But since we're doing it now, he goes down faster than you can say Radiance is a bitch-ass hoe. Poor guy didn't even see it coming. Final checklist for Greenpath: Grub, Tree, Vessel Fragment. Good? Good.
Good.
Before heading out, we take on the ghost boss, No Eyes, who's just chilling in Greenpath. She's hiding a mass shard behind her, number 12. Only 4 more to go until max HP. Cool. Even if we don't need it. No Eyes doesn't really fight you, she kinda just floats around and sings creepy lullabies, sending ghost dudes to chase after you, and if you listen closely, kinda sounds like she's saying suck on my nuts. So we slap her around, absorb her into the Dream Nail, and leave as payback for not speaking fluent bug. Another visit to the Seer gets us the next mass fragment and awakens the Dream Nail, which means, one sec. It lets us enter the White Palace. Oh right, we gotta do the Path of Pain. I mean, I totally knew that. But before we dive into that nightmare, it's time to take care of one of the most annoying quests in the game. Remember the 5 Great Knights? You know, the ones I've mentioned like 600 times at this point? The first knight I named was Zamer. Now, Zamer is actually the Grey Mourner. They're the same person. And the Grey Mourner is actually gonna give us one of the stupidest quests in the history of video games, the Delicate Flower quest. Our goal is to take the Delicate Flower all the way across Hallownest, and if we get hit, the flower breaks, and we're fucked. Good thing I'm already allergic to damage. Still, I clear the path of enemies first, then use the Dream Gate to warp back and start the quest with a clean route. One straight shot to the grave, boom, mass fragment number 14 secured. Then it's back to the City of Tears to beat up an old bug lady. You know, the one who stole our money. We beat her for all she's worth and force her to sit and listen to Marissa, which is a way better punishment than she deserves. Because we love Marissa. Bug opera supremacy. Anyways, time to head back to Dirtmouth because I want my fragile strength back before we take on the Colosseum. It has poo-poo on it. Now it's unbreakable. Hooray! Useless upgrade. Goodbye, 15,000 Geo. I barely knew ya. All right, now listen up, because I'm only gonna explain this once, or you can rewind the video. YouTube has that functionality. Anyways, the Colosseum is probably the second hardest thing in this game. Trial 1, not bad. Trial 2, still manageable. Trial 3, oh, Trial 3 can go fuck its face. That mess is so busted, it makes Grimm look like a saint. If you're gonna take any advice from me, which you won't, but Nailmaster's Glory is a must here. It makes a huge difference in the third trial. You'll be one-shotting the primal aspids, manti, and all the other enemies that exist solely to ruin your day and make you question Team Cherry's life choices. Now, as much as I'd love to show you the full Colosseum runs, they're like 5 minutes each, so if you're interested, they'll be in part 2 of the VOD version, along with the Pantheon DLC. At the end of the Trial of the Fool, we finally get to do something I've been waiting to do for so long. God, I've wanted to do that for so long, and you fucking deserve it. God, that feels good. Rewards for Trial 1, we claim 2,000 Geo and the next Charm Notch. Only one left from Grimm. Time to finally assemble my build. My personal Hollow Knight philosophy, overcharm yourself. Equip all the good shit. Oh right, I never explained overcharm. Well, children, gather around. If you try to equip a charm you don't have enough notches for 5 times, the game lets you do it anyway, but you take double damage. That's why the area near my health bar has this little purple glow around it. It's not an aesthetic, it's a mark of how much I hate myself. Right now, we have 10 notches, so my go-to setup is Strength, Quick Slash, Steady Body, and Mark of Pride. But in Pantheon 3, we swap out Mark of Pride for Nailmaster's Glory and Sprint Master, then overcharm using Shaman Stone. Before we even get that far, we beat Trial number 2, which rewards us with the last Pale Ore. I sprint full speed back to the Nailsmith, fully upgrade the nail for massive damage, and then he asks us to kill him. I refuse, and we go on our merry little way. Depending on your choice here, you'll get a different achievement. And now I'm only realizing I don't have footage of me killing the Nailsmith for the achievements, so pretend with me, will ya? Leave a comment saying how you loved the emotional payoff when we granted the Nailsmith's wish and how it made you cry. We'll fool everyone who didn't watch this far in. Back at the Colosseum, we'll take on the worst thing in the base game, Trial 3. They throw everything at you here, kitchen sink included. Even previous bosses like the Brooding Mawlek show up. Somehow, we scrape by thanks to this jank-ass hitbox. Thank you, Team Cherry, for that. And what do we get for this grand display of skill and suffering? 2900 Geo and a pat on the back. Sure, we get an achievement, but that's it? I lost brain cells doing that, and that's all I get? Fucking forget it. All right, where to next? All right, we grabbed the last vessel fragment. Whatever, man. They really couldn't have just slapped a sticker on my forehead that says, you did it? Fine, let's go suffer through the White Palace and the Path of Pain. These two are pure parkour hell. You run through a metric ton of the hardest platforming in the game, and all you get for it is the most important item in the game. Oh hey, that's actually pretty good. Side note, I definitely didn't forget to include the Path of Pain earlier and come back and add it. If you even mention that in the comments, I'm taking away your cookies from earlier. Don't test me. Anyways, Path of Pain isn't nearly as bad as YouTubers make it out to be. It's just a few rooms of tight platforming, some dash clicking, and a couple of pogo jumps. If you think I'm underselling it, well, you're probably right. But I'm still salty about getting just measly Geo from the Colosseum. For completing Path of Pain, we get a cutscene featuring the Hollow Knight and the Pale King. It shows where the cracks started, why he wasn't the pure vessel the king wanted him to be. That's what you get for making a child go and catch feelings. Completing the whole of White Palace gives us the King's Soul, a 5-notch charm that literally lets you beat the game. I highly recommend going for the first ending now because what we do next locks you out of it. Did I do that? No, because I didn't, okay? Instead, I head back to the void, dive into the floor of sibling corpses, and smack an egg with my reflection on it. I think we're dream nailing ourselves here, which triggers the next scene. Not 100% sure, but it transforms King's Soul from a 5-notch game-winning charm into a 0-notch unequivocable game-ending charm. The Void Heart. This unlocks 2 new endings and locks us out of the first one. Bug choices have consequences. I told you to do it when you had the chance. After emerging as our Void-Hearted selves, we grab the Sharp Shadow charm and go visit Mila. She's fully succumbed to the Radiance's goo and we're forced to kill her.
Emotional, damn it!
I will never forgive the Radiance for this. I will crush that moth hoe for ruining the goodest girl's mind. We beat up the enraged Guardian for our next mass shard, grab an essence tree I skipped earlier, and then it's time to fight P. Diddy. Oh wait, no, that's the collector. Close enough. Diddy and I throw hands, and in the end, Lil Guy pulls out the win. We claim 3 more grubs for our collection, leaving just 2 to go. We also get the collector's map, which highlights the last 2 grubs for us. Finally, it's time for the last dreamer. We've passed this area a million times. Just after the fountain near Lem, we scale the tower, beat a bunch of round boys, and wake our sleepy little dreamer. Also, grab another grub. Efficiency. I know I've been kind of going fast through this video, but how else am I supposed to condense 12 hours of footage into an hour and a little bit? Do you even understand how much work is going to go into doing this for a full 90-hour RPG? I'm sorry, it's not your fault. I didn't sleep last night. Jason, get your hands out of the cookies. With the main campaign wrapped, it's time to speedrun the collection cleanup. We grab the last grub, Weaver Song Charm, Final Mass Shard, Grubberfly's Elegy, and take down FlukeMarm for the Fluke Nest Charm. And that's it. All charms collected. Actually, that's everything. Cue Existential Bug Silence. Next up on the agenda, Markoth. Tricky boss, but the best advice I can give is patience. This version is nothing special once you start fighting him in the Pantheons, but he'll test your timing. Then we head back to Dung Defender and take on his alter ego, the White Defender. Same boss, but faster. And your dive attacks are useless, but still, nothing your pretty little self and my pretty little self can't handle. We return to the Seer, turn in 2400 essence, and finally allow her to move on. She's proud of us for doing what no one else could, and she understands what we have to do next. Our bug destiny is unlocked. But before all that, we gotta take down Grimm's little flame holders. 2 sets of 3 before we return. Grimm gives us a speech, then hits us with the "Let's dance" and I'll admit, the first time I fought this guy, I thought this was the hardest thing ever. But oh how wrong young 20-year-old me was. This version of Grimm, easy. We dance, we dodge, we upgrade our little Grimm child, then Grimm sends us out for more flames. We grab 2, then visit Brum at the old spleen snatching village, where he's gonna offer us a little bit of a choice. Destroy the ritual and banish Grimm, or fulfill the ritual and fight the coolest boss for a journal entry. Obviously Hallownest can suck it, we're getting that boss fight. We take Brum's flame, return to Dirtmouth, break into Grimm's bedroom and dream nail him, not to enter his dreams, but to enter the nightmare. We fight Nightmare King Grimm, and it is glorious. With Grimm fully beaten and the show complete, the Grimm Troupe retreats from Hallownest, never to be heard from again. Elderbug is thrilled they're gone, but me, I'll miss Grimm and his circus of freaks. They were cool, even if they were a bit evil. We kicked Dream Zote's ass 10 times in a row to finish Bretta's quest. Oh right, so Zote claimed he won the Colosseum, Bretta fell in love and started writing fanfics about him. I didn't like that, so I beat Zote so hard in the Dream Realm that Bretta packed her bags and left Hallownest to find her real true love. Better than being helplessly in love with a poser. With justice served, next we head to Nailmaster Oro's hut where we can find the nailsmith doing crafts with him. We get the achievement Happy Couple. Hooray, gay bugs! Love wins, chat! Bug romance is real and it is beautiful. Then we take a moment to kill Menderbug. He's a secret NPC who quietly maintains the signs around Hallownest. You never see him unless you break a sign and then revisit the area later. If you catch him in the act and kill him, you get a journal entry that reveals he kept a diary where he wrote about how proud he was to help travelers. So yeah, we just murdered the bug equivalent of a janitor with a heart of gold. My bad. Then we speedrun the Mr. Mushroom questline. Mr. Mushroom's a cryptic NPC who appears in 7 different locations across Hallownest and will only talk to you after you equip the Spore Shroom charm. He'll spout weird mushroom wisdom, but the main reason we do this is that completing his quest unlocks a secret post-credit scene where he floats off into space. No explanation, no context, just mushroom transcendence. But we need that achievement. After that, we wipe out every single remaining entry in the Hunter's Journal and turn in our fragile charms to Divine to get their unbreakable counterpart. And with that, Collectathon is officially wrapped up. Grimm's circus is gone, every grub is freed, every charm collected. Every single bug in the game has been either punched, hugged, or emotionally wrecked, and well, what's next? Well, my dear viewer, it's time for the biggest dog shit to do Damageless, the Pantheons. Because we hate ourselves and love the content. Now this is quite the long section, so I did cut out the first 4 Pantheons. Don't worry, I do have the footage. Maybe I should make it Ko-Fi exclusive like all the big YouTubers do. Evil Rana strikes again for the first time. Kidding, of course. I don't know what I'll do with the footage, but I'm hoarding it like a grub in a jar. Highlights though? We beat them all. Okay, you want more than that. Well, we fought some new bosses, Oro, Mato, and Shio, and Sly the Nail Sage. There, happy? Each one gives us an achievement and a healthy dose of trauma. But now, we enter the real spicy stuff. Pantheon 5 is the ultimate test of a Hollow Knight player's skill, patience, and sanity. It's every single boss in the game, in their hardest forms, back to back, with barely any breaks. It's like Team Cherry looked at your soul and said, let's see how much we can squeeze out of it. And at the end of it all, you fight the Absolute Radiance, the Moth Goddess of RNG, the final boss, the Trauma Dealer, the laser-spamming, teleport-happy, platform-evaporating nightmare that makes every other boss look like a warm-up. I can't even begin to describe the pain she put me through. This was genuinely the biggest crash out of my life. If someone locked me in a room and said, you can't leave until you beat her Damageless again, I'm stuck in the room forever, boys. Put a little skeleton in the corner and call it Rarno's tomb. She's got lasers that come from every direction that you'll no doubt dodge your face into, swords that cut you down faster than they cut down your will to live, and then at the end of it all, a final face that's basically, what if bullet hell, but vertical? And you know what? We still beat her, and I'll never do it again. Don't even ask, don't comment, don't even think about it. Now, since this whole Pantheon thing would be way too long to just leave in the video, how about a little bit of a montage? Feel free to use the timestamps on the video to skip ahead if you just don't give a fuck. Catch you back in a sec.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation.
She's dead, I'm free. Afterwards, we mop out the last few achievements. We give the delicate flower to the Godseeker, which actually changes the ending we just got and unlocks another achievement. No, I did not fight the Radiance Damageless again, but here's the alternate ending anyway. Then, we take on the Hollow Knight and the base game Radiance for the next two endings. We grab the Hunter's Mark and complete the journal and one more achievement for that last quest line. On a brand new save, we kill the Nailsmith, kill Zote, grab the OG ending, and this cracks open the speedrun achievements. No, I didn't get all three at once, I'm just marking them off now because you don't need to see all that. Trust me, it happened. Let's move on. And wow, that'll do it. Everything in Hollow Knight completed damageless. Every grub, every charm, every boss, every ending, every bit of trauma. Now, I love this game, but not gonna lie, this challenge broke my spirit. Made me want to quit. I've done it before, but I clearly underestimated how much it would suck to do again. Still, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you laughed, cried, screamed, and maybe even hugged Hornet in your headcanon. I'm gonna go grab a coffee. Or a tea. Probably tea, because coffee gives me the shits. Anyways, y'all, Hollow Knight is mission complete. I hope this little departure away from the Mega Man videos didn't turn people away from the channel, but this channel was never meant to be Mega Man only content. I'm here to play whatever the hell I feel like it, and I really do hope you enjoyed. But with all that being said, I really do hope I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.